What is an automated production line? Well, we've got all these strategies to remember about operations management, how we're going to make the business more efficient and effective. And we'll start with the Group A technological development and automated production lines. So the first thing to know is, well, what is a production line? So before we know what an automated one is, what is a production line? It's where the good or service being produced passes through a linear sequence of operations. So it goes from one stage to the next, to the next, to the next. And each station throughout the process performs a specific action or task. The product is then passed to the next station, and the next one, etc. So to look at Coca-Cola, so we looked at this in chapter 7. We got the start of production, the end of production, and ultimately we sort of broke it down to a series of steps that happens on a production line. The bottles are brought into the factory. So once upon a time in a production line, that was done by a person or a group of people. Then a group of people put the labels on the bottles. So once that was done, they then passed it to the next station, and the next station filled all the bottles up with Coca-Cola, and then that station passed it to the next one, and they put the lids on the bottles of Coca-Cola, and then lastly another group of people passed it to the final station, which is where all the bottles were loaded on the trucks. Now we're oversimplifying that quite a bit, but we're saying in general that's kind of how a bottle of Coca-Cola was and is produced. And that's its production line. So what is an automated production line? Well, that is where we use automation to improve efficiency and effectiveness. And essentially what that means is we're going to replace the human activity input. So labor is an input in our operation system. We're going to replace it with things like machinery, technology, robotics, and computers. All things that will do the job for us, but without the involvement of a human. So just to go back to Coca-Cola, we looked at a production line. Well, what's an automated production line going to do? It's going to do the exact same series of steps. Bottles brought into factory, labels put on, bottles filled up, lids put on, bottles loaded onto trucks. But instead of using humans for each of those stages, we are going to replace them with machines. And that is an automated production line.